We have a great show lined up for you. I'm your host, Kim Jacobs, better known as the Balance Doctor. And all of our guests that come on, they're either people that have overcome some tremendous odds in their own lives as they balance this thing called life, or they're experts and they're here to share tips and strategies that will help you better balance and manage your life. Grab your virtual seats and let's get ready for some real relevant and relatable content on today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this episode of The Kim Jacobs Show. Yes, we are talking today with prophetess Yolanda Gayton, and she's going to be talking today about what was meant to kill her. She survived it. And so everybody out there today that is in need of inspiration on some things that's trying to take you out of this world, you're going to learn how to survive some of those things today from our prophetess Yolanda Gayton. How are you today?
I am well. How are you? So excited to be here.
I know we were backstage like, because it's like we finally connect. People don't get to see all the behind the scenes stuff, right?
Yes.
But I am so honored to have you here today. And your story is nothing short of invigorating. It's a roller coaster ride. It's heartbreaking. It's heartwarming. It's heart-wrenching. You name it. It's going to happen throughout this episode today. So I want everybody to invite your friends and family to be a part of our discussion. And we're going to go ahead and literally just get right into it because there's so much meat on the bones here to unpack. So I really want to make sure that we get into everything. So Yolanda Gayton, she is an acclaimed author many times over. She's made significant impact in the literary world with 6 best-selling books out of 8. I know that there's about 12 or so that really encompass everything that she's done, but 6 best-selling books. Her writings delve into the complex themes such as mental and physical abuse. So a lot to unpack in her books pertaining to mental and physical abuse, offering insightful and empowering perspectives. So I am really excited to introduce this woman because she's going to be sharing her personal journey and her own testament of being resilient and really determined to be an overcomer. Lots about her personal note of her life, but she's been married for 27 years, and I'll let her tell you the rest of her journey and all of the hats that she wears as well, and celebrating something very important coming up really soon. So welcome, Yolanda Gayton, to the Kim Jacobs Show.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm so glad you're here. So glad. Okay. So your story, as I said, is really inspiring. It's incredibly inspiring. So I'm really glad that you're here today to just take us through it. I want you to, if you will, share a little bit about your journey and what led you to ultimately say that I survived what was meant to kill me.
Yes. So as far back that I can really remember, it was around the age of 5 years old. Mm-hmm. And basically, my mother and father abandoned me and they were nowhere to be found. And I remember my great grandmother raising me, who was like 70 plus. She only had a first grade education. She only knew how to sign her name. And I remember even at that early age, I remember that my life was different from the other children. You know, where other children had, their hair pretty combed and their bows and, mom and dad was there and right. I didn't have those things present. So I quickly realized that things were different for me. Yeah.
So when you are being raised by a 75-year-old, you say grandmother that has a great grandmother who has a first grade education, one thing she had was a lot of love in her heart because she didn't want to see you get put in the streets type of situation or going into some uncharted territory, being with families that you would be possibly passed around with. And so she did have the ability to love, even though she didn't have that education, right?
Right.
And how did that work growing up under her leadership?
Ooh, I was light years behind most everyone. all the way down to, the things that your mother normally even tell you, like even how to take care of your hygiene.
Right.
Well, grandmother was, she was from the South, and even down to like deodorant that looked like taking the baking soda and literally rubbing up under your arms.
Wow. Okay.
And it did not work. And the thing about it, I can laugh about it now, but I literally remember there was a time when I was in third grade, and there was someone, they said, the teacher and students, that did not smell fresh.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking around to see who are they talking about.
Right. You're like, let's address this, right? And here is you, right?
And I'm realizing that person is me. My grandmother was so old school and from the South, she didn't even know what deodorant was. Now, it was out around that time, but she was doing the pattern of what she had been taught.
Okay. Wow. And so back in the day, they did whatever it took to be able to just make it and to function, basically. So you fast forward, your great grandmother being at that age, ultimately what happened that put you in other situations? Because there's so much to your story.
It is a lot to my story. So around the age about 11, maybe 10, 11, my biological mother reached out and wanted me to come live with her.
Okay.
And she was in another state. And so literally I got on an airplane and went to be with her. And I was so, you can only imagine a daughter always wants to be with their mother. I was just so excited. I was so happy. I never understood in the first place why I was not with you. What was wrong with me? Why you didn't love me? Right. And so she was living with a live-in boyfriend. Mm-hmm. And so I went to go live with them both.
Okay. So you ended up going, did your great grandmother pass away? What
No,
happened?
She was still alive.
Your mom requested you to come.
She did.
So at this point then, and again, I feel like I'm almost in a movie here, but at this point you are excited. You're ecstatic because you're 11 years old. You're like, whatever the reason was, I finally get a chance to have a real shot at real life with my mom who birthed me, right?
Yes.
And so that was like Christmas for you, right?
It was.
Come true.
Super excited.
Okay. So now you're there where you've now got on a flight. You're with your mom. You're 11. She has a live-in boyfriend. And tell us how things progress from there.
So at first, everything was wonderful. And the live-in boyfriend, even it was to me like he viewed me like a daughter, and he was buying me things and doing nice things for me and taking me to the store. And every time he left, I wanted to go with him, of course, because he was going to the store. He always brought me things when he took me to the store.
Right.
So I'm a child in that child frame of mind. And then,
innocent.
Yes.
Innocent. Right.
And then mom had a job where she worked a lot. And so, of course, he became the babysitter. And everything was fine at first. And I didn't even know how to really understand the concept when he was like, he started like, let's play a game.
Okay.
And I'm like, okay, and it's a hide and seek game. And then, hide and seek went to something else. The other games led to touchy-feely, something else. So that's where it started.
Okay. So, and it's really unfortunate, believe it or not, because there are so many father figures that never cross the line. And so on the Kim Jacobs Show, I definitely, where we're bringing balance to your household, one household at a time, I really want you to know that not everyone is molesting, raping, harming the children they've been assigned to care for, even if they're not their biological parents. So I do want to always provide that fair balance. But in your case, this turned into something, this is your own personal testimony.
Yes.
So you, in your own words, can share what your testimony is and what transpired and how did it go to the point where you feel like I really survived what was meant to kill me.
Yes. And so that went on, the touchy feely things, the games, and I felt uncomfortable, but I didn't know as a child how to really express it. It was tickle, 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 and then rub in places that hands shouldn't have not been. And so I was weird. I was, like trying to focus, like what's going on, didn't know. And then things for him and my mom, financially, they kind of took a turn.
Okay.
So I ended up, going back to my grandmother for a little while.
Okay.
Kind of speeding up the, story, because it is a lot to the story. And stayed with her for a while. Mother wanted me back, I think a couple of years or so, like maybe 2 years. Okay. I went back.
To the same living boyfriend?
Same living boyfriend and her at a different place.
Now, at this point, she doesn't know, your great-grandmother does not, nobody knows that this person is invading your privacy at all.
Not at all.
Okay.
Go ahead. Now it gets a little more deeper, because now he's starting to tell me these games that we're playing, they're our special little game. And I love you so much. And I know your mother haven't been there. She doesn't really know how to love you. But I love you so much. I love you. So those are the words I always wanted to hear. Although, like you're saying, I know now that grandmother had to have loved me, but she was not a person that knew how to express love, gave hugs, gave kisses. She wasn't that type of grandmother.
Okay.
So to hear him say, I love you.
Really, really resonated with you, and you wanted to do whatever was going to make that situation come to pass in a positive light. But so he's according to you, obviously he's infracting on your life and doing some things that at a young age that should never be happening from an adult, right? So how does this, fast forward and tell us, how does this ultimately get discovered? How do you get to safety in this situation? Who did you trust? I have so many questions, so just tell us.
Okay. So like most people that experience this type of thing, it's always seemed like the same storyline as far as the man saying, don't tell anyone.
Right.
This is our secret. You're special to me. And then later on, he got more aggressive and said, if you tell anyone, I'm going to kill you. And I'm going to kill your mother.
Aww.
And I will kill your whole family. And I didn't know what to do with that or how to process that. I just believed him.
Right.
So it went on with touchy-feely doing things to a full-blown, contact completely. It was completely, rape. And so that went on for a while mom was at work. A couple of times. I've never told anyone that, but I'm really ready to let my story be really heard. Even a few times while she was there, completely drunk. So one day my mother came home early for lunch, and she unlocked the door, and that little change, I don't know if a lot of y'all know, it's kind of an old school. The little
in the projects, that chain.
Yes.
That metal chain, like that really wasn't going to keep anybody out, but for some reason it made you feel more secure. Right.
And so she unlocked, then she tried to come in, and she's like, what's going on? And then I noticed someone had came in. I was like, I can break her loose. So he got nervous and kind of got up off of me. And then I was able to break her loose and holler and scream and run to the bathroom. So she's peeping in. She's at an angle where she can see me running to the bathroom. She gets in and she's like going off. Like, what's going on? Why is London running from our bedroom to the... He's like, oh, he's like, oh, it's not, what you thinking? She's like, I don't know what to think. What's going on? And then I was like, okay, just say it. Just tell her. Just tell
your mom. Okay.
Yes.
Now at this point, what age are you at this point?
I'm about 12 and a half.
Okay. Because you had went back to your great grandmother. Yes. You came back again because your mom wanted you to come back with the same living boyfriend. You're there again. He's still raping you, and your mom now comes home early, unexpected from work, and discovers you running from their
Yes.
bedroom. Okay.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And so with him in there, scared, I'm balled up in a fetal position. I have, put my clothes on the bathroom. I'm on the couch and I'm like, I didn't know what rape was or how. I didn't even really know how to describe it other than I was like, he's doing things to me with his private. That's the way I said it. For one thing, my grandmother nor my mom wasn't around. I didn't know anything about sex education.
Right.
I didn't know nothing. Even when the female have their monthly to come on, I didn't even know what that was. That was that's a whole nother subject. It was so scary for me. So I wasn't educated on too much of anything. My grandmother didn't talk to me about those things. I didn't know about a lot of those things. And so when I told my mom in that fetal position on that couch that he had been doing things to me, she's like, what kind of things? What are you talking about?
Right.
Taking his clothes off on top of me, touching me with his private.
And now, where was he during this time? Just sitting there?
He's like behind her. And as soon as I get all the words out, she's furious. She goes into this furious state, and he's like, "No, it's not what she's saying. It's not what she. No, you getting this all wrong. This and that." She goes in the kitchen. She grabs a butcher knife. She started coming at him, and then I'm freaking out. I don't know what to think, what to do, and I'm like hollering. And then he grabs it, and she's trying to go down on him. He grabs it and he's holding her, and they get into this little tussle. He's like, I'm telling you, it's not what you think. And he's calling her name. It's not what you think, not what you think. Finally, she just started, busting out crying, and she lets the knife down, and he's like, it's not what you think. Let's go talk about it. So he's talking to her, comforting her. I'm crying on the couch. He says, let's go talk about it. They leave. To go talk about it. I'm still there by myself, crying on the couch.
Okay.
They go talk about it. And when they come back home, he has now told her a story that I have been coming on to him. I didn't even know what that even means. Coming on to him for a while. And he just did what a man does. Was what he said.
Okay. So your mom ultimately believed him and then started taking it out on chastising you for inappropriate behavior.
Yes. Saying I was fast. I should dress a certain way. It's all of that kind of stuff.
Okay. So let me just ask, first of all, from child statistics, victimsofcrime.org, you all can find this information that I'm getting ready to share with you all. But 1 in 5 girls and 1 in 20 boys is a victim of child sexual abuse. And it shows that approximately 20% of adult females and 5 to 10% of adult males recall a childhood sexual assault or sexual abuse incident. Like, that's a lot of people that are remembering something in their childhood that is now triggered as an adult that brings them back to their remembrance that they were violated. So in this case, there are parents that will say it's your fault and take the side of the person that is inflicting the harm. What advice would you give to parents that are dealing with situations like this and their children finally come forward? Because there are plenty of people watching the show. It streams in 100 countries. You know how many countries are experiencing some level of sexual abuse of the children in their homes?
Yes.
Any advice that you would give to the parent?
You really need to take the time to listen to your child and listen to all the information. And I would do my own investigation, but something that's serious, we would have to go to the authorities. We would have to go to the authorities and allow that to all be investigated.
I'm glad you're saying that, because sometimes within our own means of trying to handle a situation, hence your mom in that case went and got a knife. The knife they were struggling back and forth. Anybody could have life could have ended on that day for all three of you all, you know?
Yeah.
And so I'm really grateful that you survived. And that's what I
Yes.
want to just focus on. I'm so honored that you're here to share your story today. And like you said, you're sharing different pieces of it that maybe you've never shared before. So I'm grateful that you're comfortable sharing it here on the Kim Jacobs Show.
A long process, but I am here now. Long process.
And even as you've gone forward, there are a lot of people that you still put further trust in and decided that, okay, I'm going to go above my mom and go tell somebody else that I think is a higher authority. And how did that work for you?
So I had always had a great relationship with one of my grandfathers. I'll just put it like that.
Okay.
And he's deceased. He's no longer even here. And I went to him to tell him what had happened. I was like, I can't hold this. I don't know what to do with it. I don't have nobody to tell it to. And I told him what was going on. I thought it was good until he started touching. He started feeling. He started rubbing. And then times where my grandmother was absent, he took it further, and then he raped me.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So the men in your life that are supposed to be the protectors, the ones that are letting you know that, sweetheart, life is going to be beautiful for you. I'm here to show you how a man should treat you, how a man should care for you. They're the ones that are violating you. And
yes.
Okay. Oh, wow. So in the midst of all of this, you really feel isolated, alone, abandoned. What are some of the things I'm putting words in your mouth. What did you feel? I don't know. I don't know what I would have felt during those moments.
I felt dirty. I felt very dirty. I feel super dirty. And even when I, bath, I still feel dirty. I feel nasty. I feel disgusted. So now at that particular time, I'm thinking my mother was nowhere to be found. My father was nowhere to be found. Now the people that I put trust in and including my mom, like they all failed me. They all let me down. So this is when I first started struggling with a little depression and didn't even know that it was called depression.
Of course. So you're out of the house. Your mom gets you out of the house again, basically, as a result of what happened?
Eventually, I stayed a little bit in that situation, but again, they struggled again financially, and it came down to she had to, let me back up a little bit. She had to go and live with an aunt. And so this is before I got to the grandfather. I'm sorry I missed this part, but
that's fine. This is a movie. You need to present this to Lifetime or something.
I've always dreamed that my life, that it would be told on Lifetime. I've always dreamed that. But I had to go and live with an aunt and my first cousin, because now since I've been exposed to all this stuff with the mom's boyfriend, now I do become promiscuous. I do become, out there and kind of, liking guys and all that type of stuff. And so there was a guy on the phone that was having sex talk with me, but nothing had happened with us, but he was talking nasty and dirty to me. A cousin overheard him talking to me. And then he came to me and said, hey, all that stuff that guy was talking to you about, he's like, I'm going to tell your mom about it unless you do that with me.
This is
a first cousin.
This is a first cousin. So like your mother's brother's child or a sister?
A mother's sibling's child. Yeah.
So he overheard you talking to someone else and could hear the conversation and use that.
He got on another line, another phone.
And then he used that to bait you to have intercourse with him.
And I said, no, right off the bat. I said, it's not happening. No. Well, I'm going to tell your mom. No, please don't do that. No. He said, I am. I said, don't do that. Don't do that. And so I was on pins and needles for days, wondering when he was going to just tell her. He held it and kept threatening with me, trying to make me come to him on my own. And then one day, when his mom left, my mom left, no one was in the house, I was in the room, sleep. He came, he got on top of me, he held me down, he put his hand over my mouth, and then he raped me.
And did you ever get anybody in your family to understand?
I held that one. I held that one for almost 27 years. I held that one.
So what's making you today, which I appreciate the fact that you are here sharing your story. And I think that every woman that has ever experienced something like this, I don't care how many years it is later, I would imagine that it would be some level of therapeutic relief for you to be able to share your story. What's making you share it right now on the Kim Jacobs Show? Because you're an author of 12 books and all of this stuff. We're here to talk about a lot of other things.
Yes.
But this is, I'm just going by the leading of God here, in my opinion, that we're going to stay here for a second so that it helps somebody else at the level that they may need to be ministered to. What made you share your story here on the Kim Jacobs Show?
I'm a big fan of Myles Munroe. I know he's, for those that know who that is, he's deceased and passed on. But he always talked about dying empty. And for a long time, I was like, dying empty, what does that mean? What does that look like? So all the things that I have went through, I want to die empty that is out and that is helping someone. I don't want what I went through to be in vain. I want someone to hear my story, and I want them to find healing, find safety, get a revelation. I want to die empty.
I am so glad you're saying that. Yeah, Les Brown often says that as well. And he often talks about the fact that we don't want to go to our grave and we're laying on our deathbed, and surrounding us are all of our gifts, all of our talents. And they're angry that they were put inside of our body on this earth. And so you were inspired by Dr. Myles Munroe for that saying. I was inspired by Les Brown for that same saying. And I have made a commitment in my life, Dr. Prophetess Yolanda, that I will not go to my grave with my gifts and talents laying dormant on the inside.
Yes.
And so I'm really grateful that you are sharing this, because you have overcome so much to become who you are today. Are there any other closing comments before we transition pertaining to your backstory? Any advice for children that are now adults that are still holding it? Any advice? Anything that you want to share?
I just want to say that from all of that, I was broken. I felt like nothing. I got very severely depressed. I started having mental issues behind all of that. I wanted to die. I didn't know anything about therapy. And I'm right now at this point, I'm a big believer. Jesus, coffee, and therapy is actually what I say all the time.
Jesus, coffee, and therapy. Somebody type that.
And I need a therapist. There's nothing wrong with a therapist. And a lot of times in the Black community, it's deja vu. We don't talk about it. We think that people that go see a therapist, we automatically, they're crazy or they're lunatic. Mm-hmm. No, it means you need mental help.
That's right.
To get in a good mental place. I ended up being the party girl. I ended up, alcohol was my best friend at that time, because I was trying to, all of the stuff that I was going through, I was trying to find a way to escape it. Mm. And so alcohol was my best friend. Like, it almost got me killed and everything. It was my best friend. I literally became an alcoholic to the point I had alcoholic in my jean pocket every single day, all day, orange juice and gin, all of it. And so I really want people to know it doesn't matter where you come from, and don't based on where you're at right now that's your life. Because if I did try to give up. I tried to kill myself, not one, not two, not three, but 5 times.
Wait, 5 times you attempted suicide and it didn't work? And so
only the last one took me to the hospital to get my stomach pumped. The rest of them, I kind of like went out. Those didn't work, but that one almost took me out.
Wow. So God literally has a plan for your life that exceeds or supersedes it overly above and beyond anything that you plan for your own life.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
Woo, okay, y'all. Jesus, she said, Jesus, coffee, and therapy. It's okay. It's okay to get that Jesus, coffee, but also get that therapist.
Yes.
A therapist is critically important. I know I have a counselor that she's not, I don't know if she's a therapist. Anyway, she's my person that I go to, and
Yes.
and it's maintenance. It's not even something that I'm so down and out about, but I'm like,
Mine is maintenance too now. Yeah.
Just to talk, I'm like, girl, if you just could be a person that don't know me at that level and can hear me and give me some good advice, Christian advice, I'm good. I'm good.
Yes.
So this is really good. I see a lot of comments that's been coming in. So I do want to take a moment before we transition to, because it's also, as I'm getting ready to pull the comments up, tell me how important faith was in your healing process.
Oh my goodness. Faith was my lifeline.
Mm-hmm.
Faith was my lifeline. I've always been curious about faith, and I've always been curious about God. I really have. And I remember wanting to go to church as a little girl and really having nobody to take me at one point. Mm-hmm. Now, at the beginning, like age probably 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe up to about 8, I had my mother, who is deceased as well now. She did take me to church as a little girl. But faith was my lifeline. It was my lifeline. It saved me.
So it's important then to make sure that people have some spiritual component to their journey if they're planning to really survive and transform and navigate some of the things, the hardships that people may be experiencing.
I know there are different people that have different, beliefs and things of that sort. But all I can tell you for Yolanda's personal testimony, Jesus Christ saved my life. I was down. I remember, oh God, it is so much to unpack. I need a 2-hour series with you. But I remember one of the relationships that I was in for a year and a half to find out, as someone knocked on my door after a year and a half, that I like to say he had a whole wife. I wrote a chapter about that in one of my books too. Had a whole wife. I thought I had finally found love and things were starting to look good. So I thought, and he had a whole wife. So the husband that I'm married to now, I cried on his shoulder to tell him, the man that I was in love with, that I wanted to be with for the rest of my life. Mm-hmm. I find out now he has a whole wife, and I am torn. Mm-hmm. I am more just wanting to go somewhere and just die.
Wow. And that's because he didn't tell you, so you're falling in love with him. You're living your best life type of thing.
Oh yes, we're out of town. We're doing things together. He's over at 2 or 3 in the morning. He has no ring, no sign. I knew his mother, his cousin, his sisters.
Aww. And they knew he was married?
Yes.
And everybody knew he was married except you.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So and it's not like, how sometimes people be like, girl, you knew, you really.
I know people say that.
But you're like, I really genuinely didn't know.
Well, I didn't have a clue. Mm-hmm. Even when I went to see him, I seen him at his mother's house, that it was his room, but I found out later it was his room when he was living with his mom. Like, he didn't really live there.
Oh, so it was like a whole family scheme type of thing? That's bizarre, isn't it? That everybody was in on it?
Well, when it was finally out, mm-hmm. And unfortunately I made it come out. That's a whole nother. That's a whole.
Oh, girl, you gonna have to come back on the Kim Jacobs show. Like, just schedule yourself once a month.
And so I asked his mom, like, how could you not say anything? She said, my son is grown. That is his business. She said, I like the wife and I like you a lot too. Aww. She said that's his business. I was like very confused by that, but yeah.
So that ended, and him and his wife stayed together.
With a baby. Yeah, I had a baby.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. So, well, Anybody that is on a roller coaster ride other than me, that you have your seatbelt safely secured, but you're going up and down, up and down,
It's a lot.
please put it in the comment section. Let's go
It's
to
a
some
lot.
of these comments.
Okay.
Wow. Oh, Lord. Okay. I see you saying, oh, Sandy Sanders. I'm sure she want to have you on her show. She is one of my contemporaries with CTR Media Network, and she has authors that come on her show. Her explanation of what she encountered and experienced represents the stories of so many other women.
Yeah. It does.
I mean, you're really a voice for a lot of people that have silently suffered. I commend your guest for courage, sharing her story. Thank you so much for those comments. And if you all have not checked out Sandy Sanders' Coffee Conversations, Coffee Conversations.
Yes, I love coffee.
Coffee Conversations with Sandy Sanders. Make sure you check out her show. Wow. Nijong says, good evening, ma'am, because he's out of the country. So it's evening where he is. And let us know where you're visiting in from, Nijong. We'd love to know that. Again, the Kim Jacobs Show is on CTR Media Network, and it's in 100 countries. Thanks to CTR Media Network, we are now also, let me pop this up because I think it's important for you all to know that if you ever want to catch any of these episodes, you can also download the CTR Media Network app on Roku, Fire TV, Apple TV, Android TV, and subscribe to the CTR Media Network. We were ranked number 1, the Kim Jacobs Show, over in the self-improvement channel last month. So I want to make sure y'all are aware of that, and you can find us over there. All right, so let's see some more comments that came in. People have been really commenting. Lord have mercy, people said. Sandy said, yes, Jesus, coffee, and therapy. Okay, we're going to do that. We're going to do that. Dr. Tina J. Ramsey is on, and she's the founder of CTR Media Network. And so she said hello to you and sent lots of hugs and love.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Jessica Walker said, I am so proud of my client.
That's my PR person.
Oh, she said, your girl is here. Your girl is here.
She's here.
So glad to have you. So glad to have you. And all of you that are tuning in, I do see different ones of you. It's hard for me, unless you put a comment up, it's hard for me to really acknowledge everything. But I see you, Alicia. I see you, Evangelist Brenda. I see you, Margaret. I see you, Najong. I see you, TJ, Tamilia, Tammy. I see all of you, Dr. Eleanor. I see you, Dr. Marcia Austin over there on Instagram, Nikki Sinclair, Nainer Sohn, all of you guys. I love acknowledging my guests because I love you all.
Yes, I love it.
Okay, so there are so many other hats that you wear. Yeah, and I wanted to just take a moment and play a quick, somebody said, Kim say, gosh, your guest and I have a lot in common, common.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. I wanted to just play this quick video clip before we get ready to transition to the rest of our time together.
Giving gave her the gift of joy. Wow.
Oh, that's her. What was she doing? Reading the book?
She was reading one of my children's books.
Oh, nice. Oh, Hannah. Okay. Tell us about your book, Hannah.
Well, Hannah is actually my baby daughter's name. She's 26 now, but it's her name, Hannah. And so Hannah learns to give. So Hannah takes us on a journey to learn how to be givers and not just only think about ourselves, but being kind, generosity, and spreading love.
Awesome. And so spreading love, giving. I see right in the bubble out of her mouth there, it says giving. Hannah is a giver. She's loving. And I want to ask you, because for you to write this particular book, you went through so much as a child yourself. What made you want to do this particular type of genre when you're writing your books?
I wanted to highlight the things that I did not receive as a child.
So
I didn't feel love. I didn't feel love. I didn't feel wanted. I didn't get hugs. I didn't get kisses. I didn't get birthday parties. It was so much missing in my childhood. So much missing. So I wanted to put books out that would help other children to be able to, receive and get those type of things.
That is so incredible. Now you have so many books that you do have.
Yes, I
So
do.
let's see, what is that one that you have that you're holding up? Alicia's Brown Sugar Wishes.
Aisha Brown Sugar Wishes, which is my oldest daughter. And the little girl in this little girl character, she wears hearing aids.
Okay.
And despite the fact that she wears hearing aids, she has dreams and vision and hopes, and she goes off and do a lot of things in the world. And so this is a book that just help a lot of our little girls, especially our brown skinned girls,
Right.
to love themselves, to have affirmations daily, and just something that I wanted to give, again, something that I didn't have. And when I was growing up, I never saw brown skinned girls on the covers.
That is so beautiful. And yet and they're beautiful images of do they resemble your children actually?
Yes, they are their faces that the illustrator used from a picture and drew them in at that age. Yes.
I love it.
Yes.
I love it.
My Time to Shine.
I have all of these right here on this image.
That's all of them. That's it.
So I was like, I got the image for you right here. Unbound. I see Hannah.
Yes.
I see your logo over there, and Aisha's Brown Sugar Wishes. And then the one that you're holding up right now, tell us what that one is.
That's My Time to Shine. It's an affirmation coloring book. This one is on Amazon.
Yes.
And it's all of like my different sayings in this coloring book. Like, yes, queen. And I actually have one in here that talks about Jesus and coffee, because I say that all the time. I'm like, Jesus, coffee, and the therapist. Like, yeah,
right.
Give me that and I'm good to go. I need to go ahead and make a t-shirt from it. But
of course. Jesus and therapy. Yes, come through Jesus and therapy. I definitely am in that club. I think all people, not men or women only, everybody should have some kind of therapist in their life.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yes.
And then I recently received
Literary Advocate of the Year.
Yes.
Okay.
You're proud of that. Yeah.
You deserve every honor that can be poured on you. I want people to know how they can get all of your books. Let's tell them how they can go about getting the books.
So Aisha Brown Sugar Wishes and My Time to Shine. It is on Amazon.
Okay.
It is on Amazon. Unbound and the hardcover of Hannah Learns to Give. You can get that through going through Facebook, and there's a place for you to scan it, and it will take you directly to those books.
Okay, so if they go to Yolanda Gayden on Facebook, they'll find every way to get your materials. Yes. Okay, so on Facebook, everybody, that's the main platform that Yolanda is on, and everything about her is there. And if you go there, you'll see all of her books on My Time to Shine, the coloring book. That's a great adult coloring book. My mom, oh my gosh, my mom will lose it to have that. She likes adult coloring books, and she'll lose it to have that one because it's so affirming. And then Hannah, and making sure that you learn more about how to be giving and loving and compassionate and just a sweet soul is what Hannah is, her youngest child. And then Aisha, being able to have that brown sugar, dark chocolate.
Yes.
And even with the hearing aids, not letting life limit you and have what people consider a disability. I personally call it a difference-ability because I have 3 children.
And I call it my superpower.
Oh, look at that. Look at that. So
let me
talk to us about it.
Okay, let me say this. God's telling me to bag up. So the hearing aids, Aisha doesn't have a hearing issue, and the real Aisha doesn't. But I have 30% hearing in one of my ears. Oh, so I combine my story to this story. And so that is one of my disabilities. I also have ADHD, and I also have dyslexia.
Well, it has worked in your favor to bless this world. That's for sure.
It's my superpower.
That's right. So let me the people that were in your life that did all of these things, are they just going on in life as if everything's regular, or
Well,
what's happened to any of these things, these people?
the mom's boyfriend, I was told that he is deceased. I don't really know, but I was told that he was deceased.
Okay.
My grandfather, on his dying bed, I know a lot of people don't believe certain spiritual things, but on his dying bed, he was screaming and hollering and saying that little black people was coming to get him. So I actually, because I'm in ministry and I believe heavily in the power of prayer, and I was able to go see him and try to lead him to Christ.
Oh,
and he told me that he knew the man before I knew the man. So I don't know how that went, but I was able to pray over him. And the little people left, and he was like, they're leaving. I'm like, yeah, because I don't play. That's why they're leaving.
Well, you know what? The beautiful part then is that even in the midst of go ahead. That's what I wanted you to talk about.
I forgave him, and it was a long process. And it was a long process for me to forgive my mom, because some parts of what I did not say is I ended up getting into voodoo after all that stuff had happened. And I had a voodoo doll of my mom, and I had such hate for her, and I wanted to see her dead. And it's not no secret. She knows. I cut up pictures of her. I did seances, the whole 9 yards. I even told her one particular time that she still remembers and talked to me about it not that long ago. She said, do you remember the time you said that I was going to come down the stairs and break my leg? And I did. I said, yes, ma'am, I remember. I gave all of that up. And that's why I said, for me, Jesus Christ was my complete savior, because I got redeemed, I got healed, I got delivered. I was able to forgive all of those people. And again, I want to make sure I say it was a process, because even after I gave my life to Christ, started walking as a Christian in the Bible, I remember a coworker said to me, you're such a powerful woman in the Lord, but I noticed you still deal with unforgiveness of your mom. And I was like, no, I don't. But I did.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so you personally went into some deep, dark areas that were areas that you had to be delivered from in order to have God ultimately work his best work through you.
Yes, ma'am.
And you started YCG Ministries, Women's Empowerment and Giving Hope to Women.
Yes.
And so how do you empower women now through your ministry?
Oh my God. Well, I'm a certified life coach, so there's a lot of people that come to me. I am going to be looking at becoming a licensed counselor therapist myself, because I end up kind of going in a realm that I'm like, oh my God. I mean, by life, I'm definitely qualified, but I don't have that degree. I have a degree, and I'm working on a degree right now.
Right.
But I do it by I clothe, I feed, meeting the needs or whatever they need, being a listening ear, giving Christian advice, leading them to the Lord, going out and doing outside ministry. It's so much I do a lot.
It sounds like it. It really does. And what advice do you give women that are struggling with some of the same types of issues that you struggle with across your journey in life?
The main thing that I like to tell women is it's not your fault.
Okay.
And make sure that because see, that's one of the things that voice that we hear that says it was your fault. No, it was not your fault. And as I told my mom, I said, I don't care as a child if I was stripped butt naked and came to a man. A man is gonna say, little girl, if you don't
get somewhere, and I'm gonna tell your mama, because I'm gonna tell your mama, have a conversation. You ain't gonna be getting
probably beat your behind at the same time. Right. That's what a real man do. But that I'm like, they want to use all of these excuses. So the main thing I like to tell women that's going through is that, okay, you may be here now, but you don't know what tomorrow holds.
That's right.
You need to hang on, and you need to know that, first of all, it was not your fault.
That's good.
There's healing for you if you would like.
That's good.
And once again, I lead them to what, Christ and a good therapist. Now, I didn't have a therapist. As a matter of fact, very interesting. I just got a therapist like the middle of last year.
Okay.
And she is amazed by my story. And I just told her I just, want someone that I could just maintenance, like you said, maintenance everything. Because she's like, girl, I'm trying to see how you made it this far.
It's a lot. It's a lot. And I'm really impressed with the beautiful smile, the great joy that's permeating through your being in the midst of everything that you've experienced and overcame. So this is
God has been so amazing to me. Once again, not pushing God or religion on anyone. I found relationship through God.
On this show, you talk about God all day long. So
I found out my identity and who I was, and that I am so loved, and that God has a purpose and a plan for Yolanda.
Yes.
I have been able to raise 4 beautiful children who are doing incredible things in this world. And 3 of them are college, 2 have master's degrees, and 1 is getting ready to finish off her bachelor's degree. And then there's my son who says, well, Mama, college is not for everybody. But
and that's fine. I have the
fine. But they're productive, they're good, well-mannered children. My middle daughter, she married a minister who just got licensed to be an elder, and they're still in ministry, and they love the Lord. And I'm grateful. And I'm the Gigi of 4.
Well, let me pull. I'm actually on your Facebook page because there were like hundreds of pictures. So I was like, okay, if I start trying to download all of these, my computer's going to crash. So let me pull this.
I love pictures. I love memories.
Okay, tell me if
yes.
Okay.
So the little one at the top, where my afro and my glasses, and I'm smiling so big. She's older now. She's 2 years old, but that's Amara Joy. And then I'm around children all the time because I read at school and things like that. Okay. Oh my God, look at you. That's my graduation picture on the second row.
That's right there. I see it.
Yes, I graduated from Delta Community College in early learning. I've been in early learning for years.
You look so happy and content in these pictures. I was like, do I screenshot every piece and put it up? I didn't know what to do. I was like, I absolutely love this because it shows the
on the, let's see, 1, 2, 3, the third row, the guy with the red, fourth row. That's my husband.
Wait, right.
That is
with
my
the red.
Husband. The deacon in the church, that's Fred Gaydon of 27 years, April the 19th.
My gosh. Is that him holding the baby over there?
It is.
Okay, look at y'all. You've been married for 27 years. And what a beautiful thing to have a husband.
My daughter's wedding on there. Oh, he's a great listener. I brought all of my baggage into my marriage. There was a few things that he had to deal with, like, touching, intimacies, things like that. He's a really good dude.
I see your daughter and her husband down there.
I do.
Okay, look. What is this? Is this a picture of you and your family with all the black?
Let me see. I'm trying to see. I can't.
I'm going to save that picture.
Okay, I can't.
I'm going to save that and pull it up. Okay. I just had to pull some of that because I was like,
oh, wow. Yeah, I have tons of pictures.
I did see some of these too. Tell me just
that one. We just did a networking, it was called Bosses, basically. Bosses luncheon with networking, and so I was basically the keynote speaker of that. I dibble and dabble in poetry, so I read a poem called Queen Bee, and then I talked to all of the queens about self-love, because that's one of the biggest things that my platform is on, how to love yourself.
Yes, how to love yourself. And I think you could speak volumes to that. And even being married for 27 years and being a mother and a Gigi, how has that even influenced your overall mission and your work that you're doing?
Oh, it has been phenomenal. I really have embraced it as well as I can. And just, being able to, I believe that, well, some people have told me that I'm a role model to them. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And they're like, you don't look like a Gigi. I'm like, oh, well, good, because I don't want to look like a Gigi.
Right.
So just being able to inspire other people that, you can have a family and you still can do the call of God, and you can be, I'm very active in my, my grandchildren's life. I'm very active, going down to Baton Rouge this Saturday for a 1-year-old birthday party.
That's so good. And rightfully so.
So very, very active, and, I tell my husband right now, since we're empty nesters, the last one just left last year.
Okay.
It's our time. It's really our time. So, so yeah.
Let me see. What is this? This is your award that you
That's
received?
the award. I recently just received that award. I don't even think it's been 3 weeks. I just received that award.
So you never know. You come on the Kim Jacobs show, we can have some real
I know.
It's just like, you've been through a lot, but at the end of the day,
I really have. That's
giant.
my husband, and that is Aisha, where the book was inspired. Aisha Brown Sugar Wishes. That's my middle daughter, and I'm super excited. I had no idea that I was going to win. I was like, oh my God, I was listening. I was like, they're going to call somebody else's name. And then I was like, oh my God, they called me.
You're so dramatic with your fascinator on. You're like,
I am very, I know. People tell me I'm animated all the time. But
what is this picture of? I saw this on Facebook. I just wanted to pull it out.
I'm trying to see what that one is.
It looked like it was some kind of conference or something. Anyway, okay, this book, I saw this. What about that?
So that one is the last anthology book that I have been in. And anthology is where a group of people come together and tell their stories.
Okay.
And so I tell my story, how I went through domestic violence. We didn't even get to talk about that. I went through domestic violence with 2 relationships where I actually got beat.
Oh, well, you gotta come back. You gotta come back and talk. We want to hear all of it.
Yeah, I actually confused that with love at the time. I thought, oh my God, he's hitting me. He must really love me.
Aww.
Yeah. I was
Listen, that's the whole thing.
Very
domestic violence, and I really want us to
confused.
have a domestic violence episode because there are so many women that would.
Oh, I have a lot.
Please come back to that. Tell us about this too. That's your book release.
That's my book release, and all of my book release has been fantastic, has been great. God has really blessed me. I'm getting ready for another book release April the 12th. If you're anywhere in Monroe, if you're anywhere where you can drive, we're going to have resources table set up, and we're going to be talking about autism.
Oh, good. Okay.
Being an early learning teacher is something that I have saw, and I really wanted to highlight. I'm definitely want to highlight all types of disabilities.
Okay.
But I have a book coming out called Noah's Voice.
Okay. Well, do I have a picture of that?
You don't, because to get the people there, look, it's a book reveal.
Okay.
Cover. So I haven't released it yet.
But make sure we get it.
I will.
Okay.
I want all inquiring minds to actually come out.
Okay, what is this?
This right here is to get into, it was a special that I was running because, I don't really want money to be a factor, although I'm full-time now, so I do have to make a living. But I ran a special to get clients to come in and see how I do my life coaching and how I could be beneficial to them.
Right.
And so I was giving them an opportunity by running a special.
Oh, nice. Okay, that's great. And I'm make sure you all get that QR code.
Oh my God. And
make sure you get the QR code if you want to go ahead and screen that so that you can take advantage of the special. Yes. Okay.
And this was Mommy and Me Affirmation Social. Oh my God, it was phenomenal. Okay. I so enjoyed it. I also I read another poem that I had did. God been doing me about going and revisiting poetry. I used to write it all the time.
Poetry.
Yeah, so I did that, and then I also talked about self-love because it's just really like my staple point, besides talking about all the other things
right
that I can elaborate and talk about on a personal note from personal experience. God has been good to me. I've had a really blessed life. If I was to go home and be with the Lord today, not ready, but if that was his choice, I can honestly say the little girl who was lost, who was confused, who was broken, wanted to die, who had depression that I was fighting, who thought I was worthless, who cried myself to bed many nights. I'm talking about cried hysterical. I never knew this was the plan that God had for me. I help change lives. I do a lot of ministry. I work a lot of departments in my local church. Shout out to my pastor, Pastor Ronald L. Green, and my first lady.
Pastor Ronald L. Green, where are they located? Come on.
They're in Monroe, Louisiana. My first lady, Marilyn Diane Green, who is also my big sister. She adopted me 30 years ago, and she is a phenomenal big sister. I love both of them. I love my ministry. It's in Monroe, Louisiana, on Highway 15, Spirit of Deliverance Church of God in Christ. I'm a Kojic girl.
All right. I'm a Kojic over here too.
Oh my God, I didn't know that.
Yes, come through, Kojic. I'm in North Carolina's second jurisdiction under Bishop Kenneth Emmanuel Powell and Lady Beverly Powell and Mother Patricia D. Lofton. Yes.
Well, come on now. But very proud of that heritage too. I know Kojic is not the only people that have it right. I'm not a denominational, believing that we all have it right here, but I do love the Grand Old Church of God in Christ, and that has been, where God has, had me for the last 30 years, and it has been phenomenal.
And what's your pastor's first name again?
Ronald. Pastor
Ronald Green. Okay.
Yes.
All right. This is oh my gosh. I'm thoroughly enjoying our conversation, and like I said, I feel like it's been a roller coaster ride, but I'm glad to see that
it has, and it's so many more missing pieces. So I would love to come back. And those are just someone buying the Hannah books, and I had to put them in a little cover to protect them. I think that person bought like 10 a piece. The Sensory family event, it was another guy has really been all of my events. Monroe have showed up and showed out, and I'm very thankful, very, very thankful.
It sounds like you're just oozing with gratitude. That's what I think I'm walking away with. No matter what happens in our lives, our circumstances don't always dictate the outcome of our destiny.
There you go.
And so I just want to give a shout out again to your husband. I think for him to be there by your side for so many years, and you all are happy and Gigi and granddads and all of that stuff.
He's Pawpaw. He's Pawpaw.
He's Pawpaw. Okay, Pawpaw. That's so beautiful. Is there anything else that you wanted to say that would be something that you want people to walk away knowing about you? Because this picture right here is the picture. It's the epic picture to me to say, girl, I got the last laugh. I'm living my best life.
and once again, I truly am. God, I really wish I could put it into words, but when I say God has been so faithful, I don't want to do this. God has been so faithful to me. I have had an incredible, amazing life full of love.
Thank you, Jesus.
All the things, that I wasn't given as a little girl, God has more than made up for it. All the birthdays that I didn't celebrate as a little girl, people will tell you here at Monroe, I celebrate my birthdays in a grand way.
Yeah. What do you do for your birthday? Tell us.
Oh, a lot of times, I think the last one I did, I had a photographer, I had decorations, we went to a restaurant, I had a huge big cake. People around me, just showed love and gave gifts. They got to stand up and speak. A lot of people told me, what I meant to them in their lives. I had student workers. Oh, thank you,
Nina. Said, we love you, Yolanda Gaydon.
Oh, please. Thank you so much. Hey, beautiful.
My mom said, I love. I love. And then let me say this too. Sandy Sanders said, powerful. These are the type of testimonies that will lead other people to Christ.
Yes, I'm very transparent, and I don't think it's no other way to, go. People look at me now, and I get people all the time say, oh my God, you're this author, you're this motivational speaker, you're this certified life coach. Oh my God, you're doing all these wonderful big, things. And I'm like, you're looking at glory. But can I give you a few minutes to tell you my story? You're looking at the glory, but only if you knew the story behind the glory.
Thank you, Jesus. Girl, you're going to have me over here like laid back. Like, you're in your office, yes, but I will be slain in the spirit anywhere.
The little girl that used to be so broken, that I became a bully. I struggled in school. Now, there were some things I did really well. I've always done really well in English and history. I always made straight A's through all of it. But I struggled because I didn't know I had a learning disability. It was not talked about during those days. My grandmother, of course, didn't know. She couldn't help me with anything. Homework, I was always on my own. But I was always a reader. Even when I struggled reading, I always read. And one thing grandmother did deposit that I think is a big part of who I am today. A lot of things she deposited, but this one in particular, I was in a book club. And I had books coming to the house all the time.
Oh, good.
And so, but I never saw brown skinned little girls that look like me.
So now you're making that happen for people.
Now I'm making that happen for people.
Good. I am so grateful that you took the time to be a guest. It's by far very enlightening, informative, uplifting, edifying, disturbing. You can put any kind of adjectives in there. There's been a lot on this episode today. I encourage you all, if you have not supported our broadcast, The Kim Jacobs Show, this is how we bring guests to your home. We let you be right in the comfort of your home, and you're enjoying a beautiful experience, something that might literally be that one missing piece of the puzzle that changes everything for your life. I'm hoping that you will partner with us and just send a donation to Kim Jacobs, to our Kim Jacobs Show. You can do it through Zelle, Apple Cash at 704-962-7161, or you can do it through Venmo at The Kim Jacobs Show. If you wanted to do it through PayPal, it's paypal.me/Kim Jacobs Inc. We have audio podcast listeners, so that's the only reason I'm reading it out. But I encourage you, if you haven't partnered with us yet, to partner with us. And today I see on here one of our partners, Dr. Marcia Alston. Thank you so much for being one of our partners. You believe in the Kim Jacobs Show, and it shows, and we appreciate you. And I'm sure we have others. Dr. Tina J. Ramsey always pours into the Kim Jacobs Show, and I just want to say thank you for everything that you do as well. And if I didn't call your name out, just let me know, and next episode I will be happy. Oh shoot, my mom would be like, girl, I know you not gonna get off that show without saying Ella May supports the Kim Jacobs. So even though she's my mama, she don't have to support the Kim Jacobs Show at the level.
Exactly, that's right. It's a blessing.
So thank you, mommy. And I'm seeing any other people that are on here today that I just would like to at least acknowledge and say a shout out. Just say thank you all, because there are so many of you that support. And Yolanda, thank you for your support as well. All right, everybody. Closing comment, Prophetess Yolanda.
Praise the Lord. God is so awesome and amazing, and he can turn your life into something that you never would have saw and imagined. And I also do want to say that at this point in time, I love my mother. I've forgiven her for all that she has done. We have a great relationship. She's in another state and recently lost her husband of 35 years. Y'all keep her in prayer. I love her dearly. We have healed and we have moved on. My mom had me, I think, at 15, very young. And so I also listened to her story and understood things even better. So glory unto the Most High God. Stay faithful, get in the word, give your life over to Christ. He is the true and living God.
Praise God. Y'all stay connected. How do they stay connected with you? And then we're going to get on off this good show.
You stay connected to me by hitting me up on Facebook. It's one of my main platforms. I am on TikTok as Jesus Chick Global. I am on Instagram, Jesus Chick Global again. But if you really want to get in touch with me, Facebook is going to be your best outlet. Thank you so much.
Okay,
and thank you so much, Kim, for all that you're doing with your amazing show. May God continue to bless all of your efforts. Continue to go forth and continue to do the work of the Lord.
Thank you so much for being here. You've made my heart glad. My cheeks are burning from just smiling and being with you and spending this time. Thank you all for tuning in today. Listen, tune in Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on the Kim Jacobs Show. Thank your daughter, too, for getting that video clip over. We appreciate your work. All right, everybody. Love you all, and we'll see you again tomorrow at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Oh, wait. What am I doing? I got to make sure I tell y'all this. What in the world? I got to let y'all know that I'm a new pastor here in Charlotte, North Carolina. And we invite you to be a part of our Sunday worship experience on Sundays. If you have not come to visit with us yet, we'll put it over in the comments section. And we want you to come and stand on the promises of God with us at Promise Fellowship Church. And I did have the image here, the final image here of where we actually hold our services. It's right at the Brownstone Signature Events venue. So when you come in there, yes, it's an event venue, but it is a sanctuary on Sundays. So make sure to come and fellowship with us. All right, everybody. God bless you and have a grand rest of your day. Love you all. I'll see you backstage. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode of The Kim Jacobs Show and for being in the virtual studio audience. Your presence truly does make a difference. And I look forward to you bringing your friends and family to join you in the virtual studio audience Monday through Friday at 11 o'clock a.m. Eastern Standard Time. I look forward to seeing you and make it a great day.